Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new, top 10 list. Oh yes, it's time. Last week I mentioned that I was going to take a little break away from the single fragrance reviews and instead do a few top 10s. I'd also like to pursue some topics, some themes based around fragrance. So please do me a favor, comment down below if you have an idea, a topic, a theme, a top 10 list that you would like me to pursue that is related to fragrance. I would love to do that. So before I jump into the ground rules for this episode, let me quickly say that yet again, since last Friday, we have had an absolute explosion of new subscribers, and I certainly appreciate all of the support. Bottom line is, I am a fiercely independent, unbiased channel, and because I'm on a limited budget and I'm also a fraghead, I have to be rather nitpicky in my reviews. I thoroughly enjoy what I do, and I offer new content every single Friday. It is the channel, of course, that welcomes you to your weekend. So if you are new to the channel, make sure you check out my channel trailer here and let me know if you have any questions. All right, so let's dive in. The ground rules for this episode are the following. This is a top 10 fall, or some of you, autumn, fragrance list. Now, what I do, if you guys have seen my other seasons, you know that my top 10 seasons are a little bit different than most reviewers because I make a list of the ones that I like, and I have some of them here. And then what I do is I cross-reference those on Fragrantica to make sure that that season is the most popular season associated with this fragrance according to you. So that's why this channel is different when it comes to the top 10 seasons. A lot of the reviewers will show you what they like to wear during that season, which is fine, it's perfect. But I like to take it one step further and think about all the ones that I associate with this season and then make sure that the season, for example, in this case, fall, is the most dominant season according to you guys on Fragrantica. A couple of changes this time around, though, I will say. I had a couple that were tied with fall, winter, but I personally do associate them with fall, and I've decided to include them as well. Just like my previous lists, I do niche, I do designer, I do whatever I feel belongs. On my top 10 list, once you make it there, it's really not so important whether it's a 9 or a 5 or a 2 for me as it is the categories. So for me, I will have a series of categories, and then I have, sometimes I have ties. So I end up with approximately a top 10 list, and it ends up being like 10 to 13 to 14 fragrances among 9 to 10 different categories. All right, so with all of that out of the way, let's start the list. First category is honorable mentions, of which I have 2. The first one is, it harkens back to the days of transitioning away from the 80s powerhouses and getting into a very different type of fragrance for the 90s, and that is, of course, 1990s release by Lancetti, IL or Il. And I absolutely loved that fragrance. In fact, most of the 90s I wore that. I don't even know how many bottles I went through. Some people have said that they feel like it is a Egoist clone, and I don't think that it is. I feel like it's a different release, but it is similar to Egoist if you have smelled that one. It is discontinued, sadly, and I imagine on eBay it's just way too expensive, but I felt like I needed to include that one. I really, really appreciated that fragrance for many, many years, and sad that it's discontinued. Il by Lancetti. The second one after that one is right here, and that one is another one that is sadly discontinued. It took me a long time to find this one, and that is Eau Masculin, Eau de Parfum Intense by Lolita Lempicka. Absolutely love this one. This one is just gorgeous, and it really is a sublime black jelly bean anise. And if you remember from my review, I don't like black jelly beans at all, but I love, love, love this smell. And I have to tell you, I had a sample of this one. I bet this has happened to you too. I had a sample of this one, and I burned through the sample, found out it was discontinued. I was so bummed, and I used to actually dream of this fragrance. I dreamt of the scent, and I kept looking for it patiently, and after many a year, I finally found a bottle. I absolutely love this one. In fact, if you know of one that smells very similar and hasn't been discontinued, please let me know. I'm not going to put too much of a dent in this one because I reserve this one for very, very special occasions. Love, love, love that fragrance. So those are the two honorable mentions. The next category is Best Gift. So if you're looking for a gift that's perfect for this season, I don't think you can find anything better than Individuel by Montblanc. People have said that it is similar to Original Santal, but of course, you know from my review that Individuel by Montblanc actually came out first. And it is grape popsicle bliss. I don't know how anyone could dislike Individuel by Montblanc. It's inexpensive. It's not that common. It smells divine. And I actually would maybe say that I associate it with early fall if I wanted to be really, really specific. But it's perfect for a gift. It's perfect for any guy, any age, any format, any versatility is incredible. It's just a fantastic fragrance, especially when you consider you can find it for $20, $30, $40 for a 100 milliliter 3.4 ounce. That is outstanding. The other gift I would mention too is Him by Hani Mori. That has to make our list. Be careful there because it's not HM, it's HIM. You might recall that Hani Mori put out an HM, kind of a unisex fragrance, and then people started to debate whether or not that was truly a masculine fragrance or it was unisex. And so they put out HIM to really hit it home that indeed it was a masculine fragrance. Him by Hani Mori, for me, is the best teak wood fragrance out there. For me, the teak wood in this fragrance absolutely makes it. I love it. I don't mind that it's a little too sweet for some people. I don't find it that way. I really enjoy the fragrance. This one might be slightly more mature, so if you were looking for a gift, Individuel might be maybe, if we could just say 20 to 40, and then Him by Hani Mori could be 40 and up. But really, either one, they're fantastic. I really appreciate both of those fragrances, and they need to be on a top 10 fall list. Okay, so Best Cheapie. You guys know this is probably my favorite category, and I'm going to tell you right now, the best cheapie that flies under the radar is Vera Wang for Men. I really appreciate this fragrance. This is another one that smells absolutely divine. You can check out the notes on Fragrantica. To me, though, it really isn't about so much specific notes as it is just the overall experience of something that cost around $20. That is just incredible. I wish I got a little bit more longevity than I do, but for the price point, it really smells utterly fantastic. And Vera Wang for Men is my best cheapie in a crowded group. Actually, there are quite a bit of cheapies in the fall that merit this award, but I would give it to Vera Wang for Men. I always wish they would do a Vera Wang for Men Eau de Parfum, right? Or Intense. And then that way turn up the heat on the longevity because it is a fantastic fragrance. And again, not a lot of people wear it. All right, next category is Best Everyday Scent. Don't forget, because I have different categories, some of these will be repeats. Best Everyday, if you're like, look, and just tell me something in the fall to grab for, and I'll put it on. Don't care about versatility. I just want something I can wear every day, any sort of situation. I would again say Individuel by Montblanc, if that's what you're looking for, especially for under 40. And then every day over 40, you'd have to go Terre d'Hermès. You really do. If you've got the budget, if you can splurge and spend a little bit extra, Terre d'Hermès is just a fantastic fragrance to wear every day. Some might say that it's so austere that it wouldn't be good for everyday wear, but I wanted to at least throw that in because, well, quite frankly, I wear it practically every day in the fall. All All right, so Best Office is an easy one. Best Office is another fragrance that's going to be one of my fragrances I would do when I do my top 5 fragrances for bed sheets episode, which could be, by the way, a YouTube first. I don't think there are any episodes about that. So one of the fragrances that I love to put on bed sheets is Lalique Pour Homme, and I think it's a fantastic office scent as well. It's another cheapie, by the way. You can get a 4.2 ounce, so that'd be 125 milliliter, I think. You can get another bottle of that for $25, $30, outstanding deal. This is Maurice Rossel, fantastic. That's another one that I've burned through. It is the one, of course, by Lalique that has the lion embossed on it. Lalique Pour Homme, perfect for office wear, inoffensive, smells wonderful. One could even argue slightly unisex, timeless, classic. The list goes on. Perfect one if you are in an office setting. Okay, so for the next 2 categories, I actually have them combined. I often find on my list that I have a best niche and then I have a best unisex, and they end up being the same fragrance or fragrances, and that is the case here. So for the next 2 categories, best niche and best unisex, I have 2 offerings tied, and they are by the same house. So the first one would be Oud by MFK, or Maison Francis Curtien. Absolutely love the cashmere feel to that. A lot of you have asked me if I have smelled Oud Satin Mood, and I have not yet. I really want to get my hands on that one. I love Oud, and I find it just slightly more masculine than the next one, which would be tied. Of course, no list in the fall would be complete without MFK. Hint, hint. Everyone talks about it. Go ahead. No, go ahead. Correct. Baccarat Rouge 540 absolutely must be on any top 10 fall list. So those 2 are tied. Best unisex, best niche, Oud and Baccarat Rouge, both by MFK. If I had to say, I would probably say that the Baccarat Rouge 540 is slightly more unisex, but I like them both. Fantastic house. I really enjoy MFK. All right, so the next 2 categories are slightly different than a lot of other reviewers because I have 2 categories for romance. One is Best Romantic Night Out, and the other one is Best Romantic Night In. The idea behind this one is that if you're going on a date, a romantic night out, you're going to want to have something that lasts a long time, excellent sillage, projects very well, calls attention, and gets compliments, gets noticed. On Best Romantic Night In, you're going to be cooking dinner, you're going to be by the fireplace, you're going to be cuddling on the couch, etc., etc. So you want something that stays closer to the skin, very sexy, and invites the other person to get closer to you. So the first one is Best Romantic Night Out, and I have to go with one of my favorites, which is CH Men Privé. Absolutely. In fact, in one word, I would say sexy. It's a very, very sexy fragrance for guys. Utterly masculine, incredibly sexy for the night. Definitely going to get compliments, definitely going to get noticed. It projects quite well. Sillage is moderate but good enough. And again, it's a home run if you're going out. Best Romantic Night In, I chose, at least for my skin, this fragrance is also excellent for night out and getting compliments, but I do prefer it on Best Romantic Night In because it doesn't project quite as well, although it's close. And that, of course, must be, this is another one that must be on everybody's list, The One by Dolce & Gabbana Parfum. So this one is The One Parfum by Dolce & Gabbana. Either The One or The One Parfum must be on everyone's list for the fall. Has to be, because it really is a fragrance that lives up to the hype. It's another sexy, masculine fragrance. I've mentioned a few of you It's one of the few times when I have asked another guy what he was wearing, and I did ask a server at a restaurant, and I said, I'm sorry, I have to ask you, what fragrance is that you're wearing? And it was this one. It was the One Parfum. And he was less than enthused and impressed by that, so it was an incredibly awkward situation, but I am glad, I am happy that I got that information because I really like that one. As some of you know, whenever fragrances are really hyped, sometimes I can be a little bit lukewarm on them, and this one, along with Terre d'Hermès, absolutely supersede, in fact, the hype. So, The One Parfum by Dolce & Gabbana for a romantic night in. Very sexy, but I feel like the sillages and projection are just a little bit less than CH Men Privé, so I want to keep that for indoors, snuggling close on the couch. Okay, so the last two categories. The first one is Best Unique. And so this one is kind of like for the people who want, you know what, I don't want a list where I smell like everyone else. Give me something where I'm the only one in my community who's going to have this, but it's still really, really cool for the fall. So I actually have two for Best Unique Fall Fragrance, and that, of course, is Costume National Pour Homme. This one really is climbing up the list for me. I mean, I just keep searing through the juice on this one. I really appreciate this one. Let's be honest. The coriander, the bergamot, the grapefruit, the cloves, the cinnamon. There's no fragrance like this one. It is a beast. It projects a lot. The sillage is fantastic. It is my scent of the day. And I do admit I really associate this fragrance with fall. Absolutely love it. And it's actually climbing up on my all-time favorite list. I really, really appreciate this fragrance. Not everyone knows about it, but it must be on here, especially if you like cloves and cinnamon once you get to the mid and base notes. So that is Costume National Pour Homme. The second one for Best Unique, of course, must be, oh yes, yep, you knew it was going to happen. Funny because I actually think of this one almost as a winter scent, but this one is Encre Noire, which I have mentioned many times is black ink in French, and it needs to be stated because, oh, it smells, yes, like black ink. For those of you who remember the ink from a typewriter, you will remember this smell. And, you know, a lot of people don't care for it. I don't think I could love this one more. I really love Encre Noire. It is a fantastic fragrance, very unique, very original, and also can be had for about $20, $25. Fantastic deal. So Costume National Pour Homme and Encre Noire for Best Unique Fragrance. Okay, so we are now at my top picks. So my top picks, I have two. Really, I have four, but I'm going to go with two. Okay, I'm just going to go with two. Number one would be the flanker to Encre Noire, which I actually like slightly more, actually, than the original, of course, and that is Encre Noire à l'extrême. I really, really love the vetiver. I love this fragrance. I think it's slightly more approachable and slightly more likely to get compliments than Encre Noire. I really like Encre Noire, okay? But I like this one even more, actually, and it's another one that you can find quite inexpensively. It is just an amazing fragrance, and I must say that when I think of the changing of the season and think of fall, this is another fragrance that I can't wait to wear. Absolutely love that one. And then, of course, another one that must be considered. This is another one that, you know, I didn't think I was going to like. Everyone out there said you need to get this. I actually sampled it in an airport, sprayed it, and I thought, you know, this is just fresh orange peels. It's just not my thing at all. And then I got hold of a sample, wore it on my skin, and this one definitely is tied for my top pick for fall, which of course is Terre d'Hermès. Must be on here. Absolutely love this fragrance. In fact, I'm going to spray it right now, just for you here, just for you.
There you go. Oh, man.
You know, rugged, masculine, elegant, versatile, classic, timeless. I mean, what more can be said about this fragrance? It really, minimalist. I did not think I was originally going to like this fragrance, and I absolutely love this fragrance. As I said, these two are just superb for the fall, and I always associate, it's one of the few things that can make me want summer to end, because I love the summer. It's my favorite season. But I always tell myself, you know what, summer's over, but that just means that these guys come out. So there you have it, folks. That is an extensive list, a few things that must be on everyone's list, and then I have a few other things that are different from other reviewers. I hope you appreciate that. As I said earlier, I try to make sure that these are my favorites, and also they are ones that you associate with fall. So there you have it, my top 10 best fragrances, fall/autumn, whichever one you prefer. Don't forget to comment down below and let me know if you would like me to pursue any topics, themes, top 10 lists, etc. about fragrance, and I'd be happy to do so. If not, always remember, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody. All right, so welcome to the bonus feature. If you've seen my top 10 list, you know that my bonus feature in those usually ends up being talking about some fragrances that many people feel should be on this list. I simply just haven't sampled them or tried them yet, and I would like to in the future. So I have two for you that a lot of people have said this is, absolutely fantastic for the fall. It needs to be on this list, and I just haven't gotten my hands on it, or my nose for that matter. The first one is Héritage, and it looks like Heritage by Guerlain. This one is one that came up on a lot of fall lists. A lot of people have mentioned that they enjoy wearing this one in the fall. I just simply haven't sampled it enough yet to really speak to it, but I want to know more about it. I've talked to you guys some about it already, but I'm at the point when I would like to get a full bottle and check out Héritage or Heritage, looks like, by Guerlain. The second one actually is, I'm assuming is fall. Actually, is Costume National pour Homme, but it's Parfum. So it's actually called Costume National Parfum. And it's slightly darker in color than this juice. And honestly, I think what's happened is, I think it's been released, and I don't know if it's going to be released in the US, because I only see it released in Europe, and then I found one place in Canada that had it. So if you guys can help me out there, let me know where you purchased it. If I can get it in the US, I have not been able to find that one. Like I said, you'll always know because it's darker. It's almost like a dark green as far as the color of the juice. I would be very, very interested in trying that one as well, especially because I am such a #fanboy of Costume National pour Homme. All right, so there you have it. That's the bonus feature. Héritage by Guerlain and Costume National Parfum by, of course, Costume National.